E-gaming bets, online betting for every esports fan. Dota 2 and Hearthstone, CSGO and Overwatch, StarCraft 2, the choice is yours. Express bets for multiple matches or live bets on the game you are watching right now. Know your way around Dota 2? Make a prediction for picks and bans. Playing CSGO? Guess the number of rounds in a certain match. Daily quests for all participants and all the best choice of payment systems. More than 600,000 users have already made their bets on the spectacular matches since 2011. EGB.com. You know for sure who's gonna win.
Welcome back to the Starladder I-League StarSeries Season 3. We are still in our qualification stage, although it is coming to an end pretty damn soon. This is, of course, Group D. We've had Space Soldiers take the first map, and although the first half was very convincing, a comeback was made from QB.Fire to at least make the score actually pretty respectable. Either way, I'm joined by Just Harry GG, and we are going into Mirage, map number 2.
Yeah, this is QB.Fire's map pick. And a bit of an interesting one, I gotta say. Not statistically one that they're very strong on whatsoever. And Space Soldiers, it's one of their more, 50-50 maps, but I would say it's one that they still look very confident on. And that's one of the issues that we speak about quite a lot with, it seems to be a reoccurring theme in amongst these CIS teams, is that when Dust was removed from the map pool, and we've seen, the resurgence of both Nuke and Inferno come in, a little bit reluctant to move over to Nuke, a lot of them. And, then with the kind of initial change of Dust being removed and Inferno being brought in, that's where they kind of had to very quickly try and adapt, and they're haunted a little bit by that decision to not try and swap over to the new map pools. And as a result, they do look to be very limited, now that we have seen Dust 2 taken out of rotation. So they're going to be on Mirage. Like I say, not one that they've really kind of shone on, but it would be nice seeing as how close Cobblestone was, which, I think me and you can both agree on. It's probably one of Space Soldier's best maps. That potentially they could actually pick up Mirage, and we could see this go to a third map. But currently our predictions, I believe, from both of us is that this is going to go 2-0 to Space Soldiers.
Yeah, I do still stand by that. I'm looking forward to seeing Fnatt on this map, though, because I think he started to sort of show up a little bit more on that T side, and this is a map, especially on the CT side of it, where the AWP is just so crucial. I love how you can just rotate around with the AWP, have aggressive pushes into Palace, into apps, sort of try and take mids from different angles. Obviously, you can have the sort of three-pronged attack of middle. And that's something I really enjoy to watch, so I'm excited to see what he has to offer in that sort of position. See if he can step up versus Despe, who started and finished the game very, very strong. Had a little bit of a sort of okay game in the middle, but we'll see who's actually more on point in this sort of matchup. And now we get to see which side these teams will actually get to start on. To be honest, Mirage has sort of like changed a little bit. I think a lot more T-sided rounds are available. Obviously, still called a CT-sided map. But we'll actually see. I reckon they'll still choose the CT side. I don't think that's anything uncommon, but every once in a while a team does throw it into the mix to start on that T side and set the pace of the game.
Yeah, and I mean, I feel like for a team like Space Soldiers, starting on the T side is never a bad idea. They will be starting over on the CT side, however, as QB.Fire look to try and take the title of the T side team up first. Now, Space Soldiers, I would say, always have a stronger T side for the most part. I think that's largely due to just their sheer amount of fragging power. Dispersed amongst the lineups. Zintares, Despe, and more recently Calix. Ever since, he's been their kind of latest addition. Despe is a very good defensive AWPer as well. But I would just say that as a whole, I feel like they slot more into a team that can start strong on the T side. The only benefit to them, I think, about having the CT side come up first is that at least then it's kind of out of the way. And I feel like the T side, because that's where they can select the pace and they're a very momentum-based team, that's why we see them fare so much more strongly. Strongly? Is that a word? Yeah. Okay, sorry, I doubted myself there for a minute. But yeah, I mean, I'm curious, Tom. What side would you say would benefit Space Soldiers the most? T side or CT side? Quickly, if you can.
I think in this matchup it may not matter too much. I think they should be winning both sides. Realistically, they are the much better team in this matchup. I think I do agree with you to an extent, but for different reasons. And one of them is actually the fact that Paz as entry fragger for the team, looked very, very good on Cobblestone. He looked like he was just running around finding entry kills all over the place, and I think if he can continue that, and then you also add in, say, Zontares or Calyx, you don't even need both, then this game is over. Obviously, if he slows down, that's a little bit different. I'm more interested in the double kit. I know this very much annoys Hugo, but for me, I want to see how they utilize it, but... Okay, they're down to 1. Fnatt has just found 2 instant kills, only 20 seconds into the round.
Yeah, now Paz trying to cross it towards CT. Going to be tagged a little bit there by Fix, clipped in the face through the box, but we'll live to see it on the day. They're trying to rotate background. Despa's been isolated. Having the players watching that murder hole does mean the only position he can really come from is in through CT. And having all 3 players retaken in through the same angle isn't going to be too great. Paz, though, able to find Fix, looking for a second through the smoke, goes for the spray. Now Undo's playing up close and personal with the Glock. Is Paz going to check it? Didn't quite spot his feet. We head across to the other side for the time being. 2 versus 3 bombs taken away from here, but they have got a kit to play around with, a little bit more time. Smoke on Calyx as well, but they're not going to check the corner. Undo's able to get 1, peeks out wide. And there we go. Valbita gets the next. The Pistol going to be going the way of QB.Fire, thanks to some very nice entries there from Fnatt.
Yeah, good start. Great start from him, managing to find 2 long-range headshots with the Glock, which is a lot easier said than done. He's going to force Space Soldiers back to these pistols. Now, they are a team that can definitely utilize them. Interesting to see that Despay's actually gone with the Deagle, and Calyx is the one saving the majority of the money, so maybe even going to start off with some sort of double orb setup, or just Calyx is going to drop that over. We'll see later in this game. They are going to be trying to fight this one back. Despay with the Deag is already going to go down. The aggression from Major will actually warrant them a weapon, but it's only going to be the MAC-10. Calyx is just going to fall in the meantime, but this position from Major could actually be crucial, just holding into Palace.
Yeah, they will cross to the side, but they have to watch. The crossfire's going to be set up as well. Paz in through CT, able to find 1. Suddenly, it's a 3-on-2. They have to worry about aggression coming out from Major, who we know has fallen all the way back in and over towards mid, but they are constantly going to have to be wary, watching their backs, and this is where the crossfire setup between Zontares and Paz can be so strong. They can't go a moment without having to check behind them. And while Zontares going to fall, a nice shot there from Fix to find him, despite only being 27 HP, 1 Deag away from death. Major's going to find 2 tags out onto Fnatt as well. It's all on Paz. One of my favorite players in the Space Soldiers lineup. He's going to find the first. He's only got Fix left to find. He looks to try and go aggressive. Now going to be falling on back. Playing things over towards a close angle. Singular Deag away from death. But the UMP up close and personal is going to be where it's most deadly. Not going to have too much time to play around with either. Paz has to go quickly. Doesn't check the corner, and Fix will find it. Just able to clutch that one out, despite Paz getting a really nice 2 individual 1 Deags there. 2-0 though, QB.Fire, they do manage to convert it, but only keep 1 player alive, so the money isn't going to be too great over on the T side. This is where they need to try and bolster their economy.
I am quite interested by Major's decision to like rotate all the way back around. I get that it was sort of surprising, but like you had a MAC-10, you were playing a closer angle if you were in Palace. So why then go into a position where you have a very long range angle and your teammate's already there when you decided to rotate? It was a bit of a weird one. Looked like they were trying to play a little bit more together, but giving up that Palace spot may have actually been what threw away the round. Can't really say, obviously. It's all a hindsight factor. But now we're going to look towards just basic pistols, no armor, and an aggressive push with 1 flashbang coming in from Calyx to try and blind up some players, but it has done absolutely nothing, and it is just going to end in their demise. Paz from short, just falling back at this point, trying to do a little bit of damage from a passive angle. Isn't able to achieve anything at the moment.
Yeah, they just want the frag at this point. P250 from short, not really able to do too much. They're going to push him. Paz able to get 1 at least. A little bit more damage done to the side of QB.Fire, and you know, I mean, they didn't really need to try and take that aim. Sure, they could have just played it safe. Probably would have been better if they did just go for the bomb plant. You know, Paz escapes with the P250. It doesn't really matter, and you wouldn't have lost a player either. Now it's to rebuy, and once again, I mean, that round needed to be clean. You can see the economy is going to be fairly hurt on the T side as a result of having 1 player alive in the first anti-eco, 4 in the next. Fix the only player with a lot of money to his name. Now, Space Soldiers have got enough to buy on down. Deathspace's going to be on the off, doesn't have armor. And oh, Major and Fix, you sprayed at each other for so long. I'm so glad someone found that. Major's able to pick things up. Kickstarts this round for Space Soldiers and gives them the early man advantage. But then it's Might out towards mid. Sequence things back into a 4-on-4. Zantara's trying to go for the trade, and he does so. Mid's going to be locked down for the time being. QB.Fire meanwhile executing out towards his A site. Zantara's that Molotov's going to miss and allow him to maintain control of towards stairs, but it doesn't matter. Balbina quick to rectify that, and Undo finding one under Despe leaves it on Calix and Major to retake this. But oh no, bomb's going to go down. Balbina might have just thrown this round away.
What? Okay. I'm just going to assume he didn't know he had the bomb. That's the only way that I can rationalize that in my mind without just losing the plot, because the pushing in there was literally... Obviously, he knew that Calix was coming. That's why he tries to play that sort of surprising fact. But if you just hold that angle, you have the advantage in that situation. So just giving Calix the angle seemed almost mad, and then dropping the bomb in that position did end the round. Now, both teams will have a little bit of a skimp on at the moment. We've got the UMP onto Paz, which may not be too much of a detriment, but it's my actually with a Deeg instead of a weapon.
Yeah, I mean, interesting choice not to see him, you know, relegated down to the tech, but clearly wants to try and make some 1-Deegs down mid of reality. This is his Deagle. This is his mid as well, as he's trying to exert some pressure here early on. You can see that as a result of that smoke going down earlier, that Despe rotates on out instead, leaving a lot of this down to Paz over towards short. You also the crossfire setup with Zentares, who has been watching mid from connector. Now 2 players pushing out from underpass does suggest they're going to be trying to boost the player up in towards window. Fixed and Balbina. First going to check short by employing the boost on up, and I'm always a huge fan of this boost. Usually you can catch a player off guard. They can actually boost him up on top of the metal, the congregated metal roof, I guess, and I've never really seen someone utilize that area. And well, it does lead to 1 frag. Zantara's going to go down in towards connector. Now they have the player who can make his way in through window as well. Major trying to trade things back into a 4-on-4, does find that first frag. Now Paz in ladder room going to dispatch Balbina, that boosted up player, leaving it in a 3-on-4 as they push towards the A site. They do dispatch of Major at least, but there's another player in CT, and it's Despe. That's going to be bomb dropped. He peeks out wide, didn't really need to take that peek. Fix meanwhile over towards jungle, finds both, and that is going to be QB.Fire picking up their 4th. Tom, what went wrong, what went right in that round for both Space Soldiers and QB.Fire respectively?
Well, I think Major getting isolated over on the site, Zantara's going down from Palace. That was the big thing. The second Zantara's went down, the round sort of looked like they didn't have too much positional-wise. You saw Major actually stuck in the middle of the site, and then just a load of over-peaks. When they had the man advantage, you saw Despe, he takes one, tries to go for the confident peak, misses the shot. In the meantime, Paz then does the exact same thing, and they just lose the man advantage and ultimately lose the round.
Yeah, this round as well, once again, they're losing Zentares early on. It's going to be falling in towards connector. Now, Calix is actually able to find one with that USP to equalize this back into a 4-on-4. Yeah, any kill you can get with the USP is more than worth it. There's literally $0 of investment coming out from Space Soldiers on these USPs. And Calix does even more damage. Balbina now attacked down to 35 HP as to try and fall back out of mid. It's Fnatt watching that top mid angle, is able to catch Major a little bit as he tries to peek out through connector. Does get info, but does manage to escape with his life.
A lot of dinks at the moment. Undo gets dinked as well. So a lot of low players. Now, not expecting a whole lot from the remaining pistol players, but if they can drop a couple, the economy of QB.Fire isn't good at the moment. They want to have a round where they can keep 4 players alive as sort of a minimum and just start building up that bank. The problem is, they are going to have to be very, very careful. Fnatt almost has the same fate as some of his teammates. Doesn't quite get as much damage done onto him. There is going to be Paz just trying to hide at the back of the site, but he'll be isolated by Fnatt, who spots him as he goes to cross. Now with the remaining 2 players, they shouldn't have any opportunity to actually get back into this round. Major is literally as far away as he possibly can be. Undo going to get tagged down as well. This is getting a little bit ridiculous. There's so many low players at the moment.
Yeah, and I mean, Calix, he's been someone who's been tagging these guys down low, looking to try and make his way in now through shop. Only got a USP, so there's no point in him trying to save anything out of this round unless he can find something that shouldn't be able to have too much more of an impact into this. Might be able to catch a couple of players, they rotate on back to save, peeks out, but Fix says no. Now it's all on Major. With the P50, he's trying to hold the apps angle. No one's going to rotate out that way. They know they're very low HP. They don't want to give anything up they don't have to. Major's going to go hunting now. There's a play up towards top mid, and he walks straight into the crosshair of Fnatt. QB.Fire to pick up their 5th. Space Soldiers falling behind.
And they're actually going to have to go for a double. Not going to be able to buy in this round either. So it will, or likely to be, a 6-1 lead coming out for QB.Fire over on the T side as well. So they are going to be feeling pretty confident at this moment in time. They're building up bank now after keeping 4 players alive. And if they can do similar or better in this round, they're going to have a nice amount of money continuing. So shouldn't be anything really in their way at this point in time. Still a little bit of investment into the pistols. You got Paz with his Deeg and a little bit of Kevlar as well, and Zontara's in a similar position but with the 5-7. He's going to be playing in this connector position. Actually going to fade out to throw a flash in just to try and help his teammates a little bit. In fact, so I think he blinds them.
And now still continuing this aggression out towards Rampage, is able to fall up towards Palace at the hand of Undo. Now looks to try and extend this lead that much more. You can see the rest of QB.Fire slowly but surely now looking to try and push on out. Despe is in CT, not with the AWP this time, but with an AWP in its own right. And it's going to work like one. Despe with 2. Zentaris as well, putting some more damage downrange onto Undo. And now Paz with a deagle of his own. They've had enough of the deagles for the time being. It's my peaks out mid. Zentaris isolates him and does find that one. Quickly traded out by Fix, who's looking for the second. Trying to turn this back in favor of QB.Fire, who have lost 3 players trying to take this A site. 1 in mid and then 2 to the deagle of Despe over in CT. Undo going to be going for that plant. Does not for the fake, and it is going to be planted firmly for both mid and ramp. And Despe's going to go down like a sack of spuds. It's all on Paz. 1v2, he's got an AK to play around with. It looks like he's going to try and go for this as well. Now, Fix is watching the cross. He heard that singular footstep. Paz not going to be wasting any time. Finds that first. Now it's all on Undo. He's got a Molotov to play around with. And if Undo does reveal himself, then this could potentially get away a space. So he's going to Molotov the wrong place. Undo goes for the peek, and Paz nearly lands the shot. Fakes out the defuse, going to land it. Is there enough time? I think there is. I think Paz just clutched to that 1v2. Space Soldiers going to be picking up their second round. All it needed was an intense deagle play there from Despe and Paz to somehow pull that one back from the brink of defeat.
Yeah, and that's going to give a huge boost over towards their economy as well. They'll get a lot more money than the 2,400 they would have got going into this. Double AWP setup invested in as well. Despe and Calyx going to be pulling these out. It does mean that a lot of that money is going to be spent, so making things a little bit more costly. The T side will have to invest everything that they've previously had. Look at this jump up for Paz! That is a wonderful shot. Instantly catches out Fix. Major going to go aggressive as well. Spots out the bomb. Albino will be able to trade bomb back to at least make it into a 3 versus 4.
He's tagged down low though as a result. Undo going to fall. I always call him Undo. Undo going to go down. It's an English word. I don't know why I'm struggling with it. But now it's just Fnatt Rocker up towards top mid. Going to find that first. Is he going to account though for the fact that Paz is still pushed up? Just looking to try and hold onto the AWP. Might fall back in towards T-spawn now. Zentaris is here watching the angle. And Fnatt knows he can't try and go for this bomb. He's expecting them to have rotated around. It looks like he's just going to try and save this.
Going to try and be the star of the show in the next round. Obviously, only 1,900 coming in for the T side. And after losing quite a few players, last few rounds not keeping them clean at all. Only the 1 round with 4 players surviving, and even that, you saw how much damage was done by just USPs. Then they lose against a force buy. That's not going to help them out at all. So they need everything they can get. Fnatt is actually going to be rotating back around now. Maybe trying to challenge this one. To try and just flank in. Actually spots out Calyx, but doesn't manage to get the kill. Calyx will in fact re-peek and finish him off as well. So 3rd round on the board for the Space Soldier side. I do think that that 1 round that they just pulled out of nothing could have actually saved their half, because this could have easily started going the other way.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it spurred them on to pick up that one. This round as well should be another round for Space Soldiers, taking it to a 4-5 scoreline. Now, there'll be plenty of money for QB.Fire to invest. But the good thing is that Space Soldiers are starting to amount a nice bit of money in their bank accounts, which will protect them for the next couple of rounds to come. Once again, Zentara is going to be going aggressive this time. Paz opting to put his passive dancing shoes on, falls back over towards the back of mid. Now, Zentaris hasn't actually opted to go for the push, and it's probably a good thing, and now the push comes out towards top mid. Multiple players here. Despe desperate to fall one back, but him and Zentaris, they lock it down. Calyx now wanting a piece of the action for himself, goes for the wide peek and does find Fix. 4 to 5 scoreline secured as Space Soldiers looking to try and reel this one back to closer grounds. Now find themselves 1 round away from QB.Fire, who don't have enough to get that AWP. But, you know, was assisting them a good bit in trying to grab these sites. Instead, just going to be 5 rifles across the board. Not that much utility to play around with either. Not a Molotov in sight, so they can't flush these players out of positions. And the double AWP setup right now for Space Soldiers is going to be paying dividends. Let's see if up against the rifles, though, it's going to fare just as well.
The aggression coming out from Major. This time Fix is ready for it. A lot of damage done, but not quite the kill. This is the start that we wanted to see from QB.Fire. They are going to be throwing the smokes into play. Molotov going to go down, but this is all just a bit of a ruse. The bomb has no intention of pushing in. You can see it rotating back towards the spawn. Still going to be Calyx in this position. He's actually going to throw out a Molotov of his own just to make sure that nobody's going to go aggressive. And now, he's actually going to go for a bit more of an aggressive peek. I wouldn't like to see him go much further than this, but it does give him that opportunity to hit the first shot. Smoke even going to go down. He's looking to fade away. He's buying this fake already, and that's going to be Paz evening up the scoreline. Calyx still just waiting in a position to go for a rotation, but they still are trying to sell this fake. They're really trying to sell this fake. Fix, with only 2 HP, will manage to get himself a kill. It's my pushing out as well, leaving it down to just a couple of players, and just look at this. There's nobody on the other side. Even though this fake is working so wonderfully, Calyx has rotated in and found 2 kills. The bomb's going to go down on B.
Yeah, I mean, for a fake to work, QB.Fire, you don't have to kill everyone over towards the A site. I know, they're still committed to the fact that it's A. The flash goes out on B, and I think finally the ruse is up. Calyx on the retake. Despace still watching the rear angle, so maybe it is A. But no,
he still doesn't know. He's still looking back. They have literally just been completely mind-gamed out of this round. Obviously saving the double AWPs at this point.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good idea. Like, obviously, they've got plenty of money to buy back up with, but that is what you call being completely mind-gamed. I still feel like there's a point now where Despace can still think that it's A.
Yeah, might try running towards App so he doesn't die in the explosion. But, yeah, no, I mean, that fake worked, well, almost too well for QB.Fire. As, I mean, I don't even know. I don't know how Space Soldiers didn't realize B. You know, in the end, obviously, it was to save the AWPs, but it was just because by the time they had realized it was B, there was no time left. So it will be a 6th round going the way of QB.Fire. Now, thanks to keeping those 2 AWPs up, they'll be able to reinvest into this round and the next as well, regardless of the outcome. It looks like this time a bit of a change of pace out from QB.Fire. They send Balbino aggressively in through lower tunnels, and Torres forces the issue up towards top mid, though, and finds that one frag onto Fnat. Everyone else sitting up outside of B. Loading all the regs into one basket. Everyone's stacked up here. The smokes and flashes go raiding on in, and Calyx is going to be a lot of pressure on him. He can't see anything. Has to fall on back. Zentares pushes up through short. He's going to be sitting right below window. And QB.Fire doubling on back. They're going to try and sell yet another fake. This time, though, not going to have anyone to stick around. And I mean, interestingly, I think they might opt to slow things down and actually try double fake this. I mean, the fake worked so well last time. Why not see if you can, you know, allude to the fact you're going to be playing off this fake and then actually just hit B. And by the fact they've stayed over towards top mid, I think they might be doing just that.
The aggression, Paz. He will only get one. It's still going to keep the man advantage. And Zentares through the smoke. He manages to pick off Fix. Nothing you can do about shots like that. Calyx, again, he's looking to rotate back. He's going to play this passive hold over towards the B site. Not too much utility over on that T side either, so it's my, well, throwing the nades. There shouldn't be any way that they get across, but actually the missed shot, Balbina Reed peeking, that is absolutely crazy, and it's just going to be trying his best to get close and personal, going to go for the bomb plant to get his team a little bit of extra money. They do need it. Now, well, he's completely surrounded. They're coming from all angles, got to try and fight from the circle he's surrounded by, and he's not going to do too much. Actually hits the shot onto Major. That was surprising to say the least, but it will be enough. The diffuser's going to come in to make it 6-5. Still the lead with QB.Fire, however.
Yeah, them winning that, though, does reset the economy of the T side. Should allow Space Soldiers to potentially pull this back to a 6-6 scoreline. Let's not forget, me and you both kind of pin them as a T-sided team, so there's plenty of time for them to try and, you know, remedy the rather close scoreline in that T-side half. And And I'm just glad that James Barnolf isn't watching. I know how much he hates that plant corner and brings it up every time we play Mirage, which is a lot with James.
He always tells me off for smokes, so you know. I always outfrag him, so it's fine. Either way, we are going to have the smoke setup coming in over towards this A site. Look at the close range position from Major. He's still only going to manage to get one, even up against these pistols. M4 has been picked up, but Zontares, the king of the spray, is just going to be finding all of the frags. Paz will steal the last, but that will be a 6-all scoreline. Even Stevens. Did you watch that as a kid?
I did. It has Shia LaBeouf in, right?
Yeah.
But, like young Shia.
Made his career, for sure.
Yeah. Well, it was the Kickstarter, the catalyst. And speaking of catalyst, when you look over towards Space Soldiers, we're going to be seeing those catalyst AWPers back into the mix this time, though, with a full array of utility and weapons up behind them. Zontares over towards top mid. I want to find that first. Fnatt does go down. Now it's Myers here to try and trade things out. Paz peeks his little head over and will be paying his price for that. Going to be equalized back into a 4-on-4. He did land a dink though on It's Myers. A bit of a parting gift. As a result, he's tagged down extremely low. We'll be able to get that bomb, and it looks like QB.Fire are going to be trying to execute back out towards A. They have been able to get Balbina up through lower tunnels, and he's in a great position to make his way out through mid. The only thing is that you have got Zontares playing behind those boxes up towards top mid, and it's such a strong position to hold on to both lower mid and also T-spawn from. He's going to be a real threat here. You can also hear the rotates in through T-spawn, so he can get a bounty of information.
Oh, Major.
Fix able to deal with Major, who has not been having too much of a good game once again. Despace's going to be able to find one, but that is it. That's the A site completely open now. Zontares and Calix, the dynamic duo of Space Soldiers, father and son, trying to retake this A site.
Yeah, Major's really not having the time of his life at the moment, unable to pretty much do anything. That was just really, really tragic, unable to find what should have been a very easy kill. Rotation will come in from Zontares. Gonna spot him out. Actually stops the bomb from going down at this point in time, but Undo is going to be there to finish him off. And it does seem like they have a few rounds where you have to give props over to them, and then they just throw something away. They do something silly. Now, they take mid-control. They have the first pick. Paz re-peaks. I don't know why. There's no reason for that. Then, on the A side, they just leave one player completely abandoned, and Major, well, he makes a silly mistake. It has to be said, but either way, they are going to have the buyback up. Still a great opportunity for QB.Fire to actually win this T-half, which wouldn't be something we'd expect going into this matchup. Even if we expect Space Soldiers to have a good C side, they should be better on the CT side of Mirage against a team that shouldn't be anywhere near their standard of play.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, Space Soldiers haven't been looking, you know, too confident today. They definitely were in the beginning, but since then, you know, since the latter stages of Cobblestone, things have definitely slowed down for them. And speaking of slowing down, Paz going to be finding it hard to do anything quickly with a bullet launched in his forehead. Will be going down as his Calix over towards B. That's the B site just torn open. Lots of aggression coming out from Fire. These three players of Space Soldiers already saving as they fall back. They don't want to try and go for this. They're just going to opt to play things safe. And if they do save up the 3 rifles, then they can afford to fully buy into the last round of the half. Bomb isn't even down yet, so plenty of time for QB.Fire to start rotating players out to go and hunt this down. Even taking 1 rifle out of the hands of Space Soldiers now is worth its weight in gold. And if that does mean sacrificing a couple of players, then it is going to be worth it. Send out Fnatt and Fix to try and track these guys down. They can both afford to rebuy regardless, and it looks like that's basically what they're going to do. Fix might be able to find Despair as he spots his shoulder. Despair goes down, and this is very bad now. They know where Space Soldiers are. Major desperately trying to cling onto the AWP, as well as the hopes and dreams of Space Soldiers' T-side here as he grabs it. Falls on back, but QB.Fire aren't going to be letting up just yet. 2 players here trying to hunt down Zontares and Major, and Zontares is going to fall, and oh no, they only needed to take 1, and they've gone and taken 2. They might even be able to get the 3rd. Major alone and with the AWP. Over towards Palace, able to find 1 at least. No one there to refrag, so they save the AWP, but still the buy-in of this round now is going to be looking much, much weaker.
Yeah, it's going to be back to, well, what I would call a jumble sale buy. Just get whatever you can on the board and throw something into the mix and hope that it works. Either way, QB.Fire have already pulled out 8 rounds over on this T side of Mirage. We'll have to see whether they can convert this on the CT side. This is, of course, their map pick, one that they should be pretty confident on. Alex going to throw out a little bit of an early smoke. Try and stop any aggression. It is going to be the A site smokes for T side. And actually just rotating every single player around to come from the same angle. They're not going to go for any mid presence. They're just going to try and hit this A site. And to be honest, so far, it has been a weakness. And you look at the weaponry that's actually on the board here. The UMP, Eagle, Alex over towards Connector with the only rifle.
And Alex had to make things work at first. That's fine. One frag. I'm going to convert it to a second as well, but the trade comes through. Despate going to be pushing up through the smoke. Going to come face to face with its mine as he emerges. There's the no-scope. Despate does find that one. Going to put it back into a 2-on-2. Looking to try and keep the ult, but he threw it incredibly far. What a muscly man this dude is. It's going to now be a 2-on-2. They don't have a defuse kit to play around with. That Molotov going to isolate Fnatt. He's also going to get tagged down low on the back of Despa's ult. The nade nearly finishes it, but he's still clinging on for dear life. Paz able to get one. He knows where Fnatt is, and oh, he's going to land it as well. Paz, the clutch king, 1v2 once again. Picks up that 7th round for Space Soldiers. An 8-7 scoreline with QB.Fire with the 1-round advantage heading into the second half. They will be swapping over to the CT side. Space Soldiers on the T side. Of course, QB.Fire trying to fight to stay in this. 1-0 right now in favor of Space Soldiers. This is, of course, QB.Fire's map pick, and it's all to play for heading into the second half.
Yeah, now we get to see if they can actually step things up on the T side. Interestingly, Paz very strong at the moment on the CT side, so if he can continue that over towards the T side, then, well, anything can happen. It seems like Major, again, not really having too good a game at the moment. Despe having a couple of sort of flaring moments with that AWP, but it definitely looked like Fnatt on the other side of things had his number the majority of the time. So we'll see how this actually goes down and whether or not QB.Fire can actually convert this map on the CT side. They picked it. They've got themselves the kit and the smoke on to fix. Major going to be that raid boss once again. And Calyx just going to be left with a flashbang.
Space Soldier's going to be playing a matchmaking favorite, the Contact B. And here we go, they go rushing on in. Fix is here alone. You can see the rotate coming in from short from It's My. Fix smoking himself off. Interesting smoke here. Major's going to go for the cross and he's going to fall. That's the raid boss down. Fix looking for a second. It's looking like he might present itself, but he is going to fall. Despe to pick that one up. The man advantage turn now in favor of Space Soldiers, but Despe still reloading rounds the corner. He's going to be finished off by Fnatt. Quickly, Zentara's going to get the trade, and the fracture's going back and forth. Paz says no to undo. Leaving it all to Balbina. 1v2, Paz in kitchen, Calyx over towards Shop, and Paz with the triple. He is on fire right now, keeping Space Soldiers very competitive, and that's going to be them to pick up the pistol round in the second half.
Yeah, it is very, very close pistol round, trading backwards and forwards, but eventually it is Paz who makes the difference, gets the triple kill, and continues his run of terror so far on this map. Eagles will be in play in the majority over on the CT side, but they've got themselves a scout and Fix with the only bit of utility in the form of a flashbang.
Yeah, flash and a dream. Looking like right now, Space Soldier's going to be trying to emphasize mid control. Now, 2 of them tagged down extremely low on the back of that scout. Fnatt himself has been tagged down at 30 HP, but still the actual advantage right now in terms of HP going to be going the way of QB.Fire. They got 3 players over towards this B site, not exercising any mid presence now, just going to be giving it up. They've done their damage, and that is it. Trying to keep these pistols in close range. Fix behind the box. He's actually going to be looking down at the ground so that he can dodge any players that do make their way up through connector. If they don't check the angle, he could very easily catch 1 or 2 off guard. Now, Space Soldiers looking like they're going to push towards B. They haven't opted to try and probe A, and they might end up regretting this decision as 3 players wait for them inside this B site. It's My to find the first, trying to find a second as well, but Zentaris shuts him down. Major in mid, watching for the flank, going to be able to find Balbina. Now it's all on undo, 1v4. And I bet he's pushing Control Z to try and restart this round.
That was a terrible joke.
It was good enough.
Gonna see him just waiting at the moment. He does, of course, have the opportunity to keep this into the next round. See, whether or not he can do any extra damage. I don't really see any reason for Space Soldiers to go aggressive in this moment in time. Obviously, Calyx, the only one with any sort of SMG in play that can make some money. And actually it's going to be Paz leading the charge, and, well, he'll finish off that Deeg anyway. So just going to be basic pistols coming into the next round. Nothing too hefty. Does look like they have the potential to bring in an AWP onto its Mai, but really, it's Fnatt who we expect to see this on. And, well, Babina already going to buy up P250, a couple of flashbangs. May not even be bothering with the AWP going into the first buy round. Mac 10 for Despe, going to be trying to farm up a little bit of extra cash for that AWP. And Zontaras is going to get rid of its Mai within the first seconds of the round.
Pop flashes should be coming out from Balbina, but he elects not to throw them, and he's going to go down with a utility belt that was, you know, round full of $400 worth of investments. And Zontaras as well mopping up frags left and right to hold him steady throughout the night. 10-8 right now in favor of Space Soldiers. A 2-round advantage over QB.Fire. They can finally afford to buy on down, though. Fnatt's going to have his trusty AWP, as is Despe. And this is where we see the clash of the Titans come out. I imagine it's going to be a lot of tension over towards mid.
I legitimately think that round was under 20 seconds long. That was so quick, the way they just ran straight out onto the site. No respect for any of the pistols, just decided to decimate them, get the round over and done with, and continue into the buy. Lead with Space Soldiers at the moment. CT side now in, and we do see the AWP come in. It has been dropped. It's was the one who saved a little bit of extra money. We'll be jumping over it, spot them going down. Major lining up a nade to try and get rid of this AWP for that. Not going to do any major damage, but will maneuver him back into position. Still plenty of time left on the clock. Looking like they may just go and try a little bit of mid control. Smoke will fall in to do just that.
Zontaras is going to get a bit of a gift into the spine there. Tagged down to 9 HP by a teammate. Just a friendly little love tap. I think that was from Calix. Just, you know, to reassure him that he's doing all good. Pat on the back. And now we can see him trying to take mid control. Fix over towards short. It's going to leave a gap in that smoke so we can watch the angle. And Paz going to learn the reason for that gap being there. The trade nearly coming through from Zontaras, but for the time being, Fix does escape with his life. It's Mygo to get himself another as well, but it's Calix over towards short. Finally gets that late trade. Down goes Fnatt. The AWP trying to make his way through onto the site. Playing it aggressive just to have the presence there, but he doesn't check the angles. Balbina over towards short. Dispatches of Calix. But now it's all on Balbina. And there's Despe just guillotining that retake before he can have so much of a foot in the door. 11-8 now. A 3-round advantage over QB.Fire and a reset CT side economy. All contribute to the fact that Space Soldiers should be picking up their 12th round here.
Yeah, it's expected that they should take this round over the line. Few Deagles in play once again. No surprise. Obviously, that gun was pretty much made in Russia. It is something that we see so much from the CIS teams. Although Nico has sort of tried to move it over towards Bosnia a little bit and say, no, do you know what? This gun's ours. Paz going to be waiting for this push. Always expect aggression in these sort of rounds, and he's going to spot out one. Just opt to fall back. Obviously, he has way more value than any of those players has combined, so he may as well just try and keep everything he has. They're actually going to look to take a play over towards middle instead.
Yeah, Space Soldiers looking to try and not lose a single player if they can avoid it, to try and keep their money in the green. Once they make their way down mid, mid's a very good place to try and work against these pistols. They need to be probing these sites, though. Once again, QB.Fire going to be going for that B side stack. 3 players here. This time, Bomber's making his way up towards A. Zontaras already up connector. Should be getting a decent feel for this. And if Fnatt peeks out mid, might be able to catch Major, but he just misses him. You should better call the rotate now. The guys from B slowly but surely making their way over towards that A site to rejoin Fnatt. A site is just going to be falling, though. Fnatt's going to get one. Major goes down. Zontaras is now looking to try and refrag 2 players here. Waiting around the corner for their chance to take him down, but he finds them both. It's all on its might. And is this his moment to shine?
I didn't even get to finish the, I didn't even get to finish the one. Yeah. No, he died so quickly. Not going to be the case. Not actually performing anywhere near as badly as he was in the last map, but has stepped it up a little bit. I still think that Fnatt is going to be the big player in this sort of matchup who will make the difference if he could step up with that AWP and Fix as well on the entries. They're going to need him on this map especially, but we are going to have a 12-8 scoreline. Space Soldiers so far flawless on their T side. 5-0 We'll see if they can continue that. Only 4 rounds needed for them to actually finish off this match.
Yeah, Calix trying to grab control of the lower tunnels. Going to get naded back, but now he knows that Balbina's up towards window. Doesn't matter though, because it's Mai with the AWP on short. We had to deal with Zentara as the top fragger right now for the side of Space Soldiers going down early on. That's going to be felt by the T side. Now you can see that Despe desperately trying to refrag out towards mid. Paz going to be smoked off over at Palace, and then they've got Calix as well. He's been able to make his way out over towards Connector. Looking like they're going to try splitting onto A. One player out through Palace. Calix in through Connector. Just isolate and engage these players that are trying to watch these angles. Primarily, I'm looking at Undo, who finds himself very close to Connector, along with Albina, who's over towards jungle now. If Calix can try and distract these guys, just allow the rest of Space Soldiers to make their way out, and this could be a very good round. He's going to be getting up on top of the box, though Undo does hear it. But it's Fnatt to find the first. Calix with a dispatch of Undo, but Fnatt says no. Going to be on 2 frags now towards CT. Paz has a lot on his plate to try and deal with. It's going to be suddenly thrust into a 1-on-3, and Fix with the peak. We'll be able to fix that situation. 12-9 as he shuts down Paz.
Yeah, it's going to be another buy coming in, of course, for the Space Soldier side. Plenty of money able to invest into this one after the 5-round streak, and a lot of them were relatively clean as well. We see a couple of sort of 4, 5 round or 5-player rounds, so still quite a bit of money left in their purses to continue to the next round either way. CT side, in the meantime, they have pretty much spent everything to continue going. They've got this double AWP setup. It's pricey, but it did work quite nicely. Had It's Maya go for the peak previously on short and do quite a lot of damage. This time they've actually switched things up, and it's Despe to start things off. The counter AWP. Major actually going to go aggressive into the smoke, looking for this kill onto Fix, and will isolate him as well. In the meantime, got Balbina waiting around the connector. They're a little bit worried about this one. Paz only on 32 HP, looking like he's about to go for the peak. Doesn't manage to capitalize, but does find a little bit of information. The remaining players are over towards this CT spawn. Actually, we're not going to see them just try and push back in.
Yeah, the double up setup right now trying to pay off, but Despe's watching this gap, and if Fnatt keeps walking this slowly, he's going to go down at the hand of Despe. Now it's Mike. Does land a tag on his entire, but there's so many players facing in the AWP. Not going to be ideal in this scenario. Calix looking to go aggressive. B-Hop's down like a speed demon, and there we go. Admin, he's doing it sideways. Calix finds himself that frag, and that's going to be 13-9. I mean, he kind of whiffed like the third jump, but we'll let it slide because it was smooth and it looked good. And that's how things work.
We are going to have the pistols back once more. The problem of having that sort of high cost onto their CT side, those double AWPs, is that when they lose one, they are going to be completely reset. Major going to be trying to go through the smoke, taken down by the USP, and an AK picked up with this aggression over towards mid. In the meantime, the bomb will be going down over towards that A site as the rotation attempts to come back in. We're already going to lose Fix. Balbina is just running away to save, and that Molotov, $600 to kill a player with nothing, but it will work.
Yeah, it's all about Balbina. He's trying to save. They kind of have an idea as to what he is. Kayak's going to be pushing on up, and the flash goes out. Balbina isn't going to look away. The last thing he saw was Calix's smug face as that flash hit, and then nothing but the pearly gates. 14-9. Space Soldiers 1 round away from match point. They've already won that first map on Cobblestone earlier on. This time, they're looking to take this in a 2-0 fashion, continuing their very good streak so far throughout the qualifiers. QB.Fire going to be facing the full brunt of that. Let's not forget, this is QB.Fire's map pick. There's still a little bit of time for them to try and remedy this and come back. Potentially take us through onto that third map, but Space Soldiers desperate to try and close this out. Let me making their way towards the A site. No one really here with anything to check these long angles as right now that AWP is playing over towards B. The 2 rifles can be a little bit outclassed, forced on back, but being able to find one. The trade not going to be able to come through just yet. The rotate slowly but surely being spurred on as well. Smoke for CT is going to go down. That's going to render Undo relatively useless, and Balbina is going to be tagged down low. Calix actually able to pick that one up. Undo, the only player within earshot of the site, smoked off and towards CT. Should at least be able to deny that plant if it comes through. Right now, they're just sitting pretty, biding their time. Minute and 5 seconds left. They're not going to get that bomb into the site till they know it's clear.
Yeah, the problem is as well, a lot of their players are actually low at the moment. I think they're almost hoping that maybe they can mind game the CTs into rotating back. That's a lovely pot flash. Paz manages to just jump across and has a freebie kill onto Fix, giving them that man advantage once again. He's the one who has to make the majority of the plays at the moment. The rest of the team are low on HP, or at least 50 and below. Most of them below 12, in fact, and they line up. 2 of the low players are gone. Can Undo make it a third? Calyx only on 10 HP as well. As said, Paz is the one with the majority of the HP at the moment. Calyx, well, that's a bit of overkill, but now it is on to Paz. 1 versus 2. He's done it before. Looking to try and do it again, getting tagged very, very low, and Undo is going to get himself a third of the round. 14 to 10. They're not quite done yet, but the buy's still going to be coming up, and we've already seen the problems of economy that have happened for QB.Fire, and it's looking like it may just continue.
Yeah, I mean, despite winning that round out, only keeping 2 players alive, I mean, the money's still going to be extremely low, and now they're in danger of being reset by Space Soldiers, whom haven't had any problems with money just yet. Nade stack aggressively down towards ramp. That smoke's going to land and signal that the rush could be incoming. About Bina, he's already going to be tagged down low. Has to fall on back. Now, they're going to try and keep themselves here with the crossfire set up, but it's a very risky angle to play. It means you have to have that player in jungle. That's going to be Fnatt watching Palace for you as they fall back to the site. Wouldn't surprise me if we see him instead now make his way over towards mid. Seeing as Palace isn't going to be needed to be watched as diligently anymore, but then the smokes come raining on in. That's going to instead force his hand out through jungle to rejoin the rest of his team. It does, however, mean that Major and Zintara is now making their way up through connector. The perfect crossfire should be coming through. Fnatt's going to fall, but before he does, a bit of a parting gift on a Major as he goes down. Undo up towards scaffolding in the corner, going to be tagged by Calyx, but he does fall down under scaffolding now to reinforce. Finds Paz. Zintara to get himself a second. Calyx out through Palace. Deals with Balbina now. It's my and Fix rotating on round. Fix is going to go down. It's all on It's my. He's in towards mid. Might be able to get Zintara's, who right now has his attention focused the wrong way. But Despe's going to be watching it, and he says no. He protects his brothers till the end. And down goes It's my. 15-10. Space Soldiers arrive at match point. They're only going to win 1 more round to take this 2-0.
Yeah, and the big problem now is just the way that the economy game has gone for QB.Fire, is this is where they're going to have to play with pistols once again. 4 Deagles, a 5-7, a couple of smokes, a couple of flashbangs, and they've got to try and win a round versus Space Soldiers. Aggressive push already coming in from Despe. He's going to hit the tag, but gets swapped back, and actually, he loses his head. Unfortunately, for the CT side, 2 players have already been traded back. The bomb is going to go pushing back in, but Undo actually gets another one. However, the trades come in every time. Every time you get 1, 2 instantly come back, and Space Soldiers are going to win this map and win the series. It's 2-0, and they're going to go top of the group once again.
Yeah, stellar performance from them, standing out as well from the likes of Paz. Calyx on both maps had a really great performance, and in that one as well, we did see Zintara step up a good bit, which is nice considering he's been fairly quiet, I would say, in a fair few of these games. Instead, we've been seeing Calyx, Paz, having really decent performances. Major was quiet tonight, but it didn't really matter because everyone else was there. And so that's going to be it from us tonight. Isn't it, Tom?
Before we end, I do want to say I have to give props to the side of QB.Fire. I'm actually been surprised with how they perform. They manage, I think their T sides are actually very, very good. Like, they managed to get, 8 rounds over on the T side of Mirage. I think they got more than that on the T side of Cobblestone. It's just their CT sides that they need to work on, get themselves practice a little bit, and they genuinely could be challenging some of the better teams. This is Space Soldiers, a team that we expect to be rising through the top 20 soon with this new addition. They did the same with LDLC, taking Train off of them. So if they could just put in a little bit of work in improving their CT sides, I think that they could actually be a pretty good team.
Yeah, no, I mean, I was impressed with what I saw from them as well. Like you say, their T side does look to be extremely strong. Extremely strong, maybe a bit. I
don't know. 8 rounds on Mirage isn't bad.
Yeah, that's true. But at the same time, Space Soldiers, I would say, aren't too renowned for their CT holds, especially with Major performing so badly. He's normally someone you can kind of look to on the CT side.
He is in-game leader, though, so I always like to have a look.
That is true. No, well, I mean, that's why I give him a lot more leeway. And whenever he does perform, you're like, oh, well, this is great from him. But I mean, still, I was very impressed with him, especially up against a team like Space Soldiers. I mean, Cobblestone even at one point was looking like it could have gone to OT, and that's their map. So, amazing work, really, coming out.
Also, on a side
Well,
note, for everybody
QB.Fire.
saying thank you in the chat, we love you very much.
Yeah, guys, we love you too. And actually, a quick shout out to a couple of people who are here. Bogvajsen. I don't know how to say your name. I'm sorry. I probably butchered it completely. HS Fox 11 Anja. I don't know what you're saying, but thank you for being here. Two Borgs, Slayer Alley, Expert Faker, Saw Play, Vortex 609, and everyone else that tuned in. Thank you all for joining us on this journey. That is it from us tonight, and that's going to be it from us for a little while, I believe, Tom, because you and I are heading to Poland for Katowice.
Yeah, no, it's going to be a few days. I have got some lovely replacements for the remaining matches of the EU, and if you want to see some Chinese Counter-Strike as well, we do have the finals of their qualification as well. Definitely not going to be reading your name out. I've just seen what that is. Feel free to say my name. Wonderful. But anyway, guys, it's been a pleasure. Of course, we will be back with all of the playoffs as well, which will be coming up over the next few weeks. So make sure you follow the channel. And if you did enjoy the cast, !casters, and you can follow us on Twitter as well. But as said, we're off to Poland. We will see all of you guys soon. Peace out.